live. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to the first. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying this is the Eugene and Dylan. And Eugene and is the important term. But Eugene had to do some sort of last-minute event. And so it's just the Dylan, and then maybe we'll call Eugene at home and bother him. What do you think? That could be fun. So, yeah, it's office hours. My goal here is just, we're going to answer any questions you guys might have. I figured I'd go over, like, how I sit down and work through a warm-up for a day or the type of material I work on, especially if I'm getting ready for a gig or if I want to look like I kind of know what I'm doing between now and then. Hey, Jim, great to see you. And so, yeah, we're going to continue to build these out and try and make some little cutouts and content. We've been working on some shirts, so we're excited about those too. So let's see where the day takes us. So hopefully you guys are having a good Monday so far. I don't know, here in Los Angeles, it is gloomy, it's dark, the weather is unbecoming, and we are truly not ready for that. So how's Atlanta right now, John? Is it okay? Is it not too bad? I'm thinking Atlanta's probably actually great right now, kind of like right around the well, it might be getting cold there too. So, yeah, anyway, I should probably write it in the chat so you guys don't have to wonder, but Eugene had an event that he has to plan for, and so maybe we'll give him a call at home and interrupt his evening. But I think he's gonna be here for most of these, or we're gonna maybe split off and do something together. Either way, it was great today. I knew it because I've traveled through Atlanta this time of year for touring, and it was really nice. August in Atlanta, it's a little sketchy, it's a little sticky. So tell me what you guys are working on. Give me some ideas of what you guys been working through. I'll tell you the stuff that I've been looking at a lot lately. So I know we've talked before about, and if there's any bass players, don't hesitate to let me know. One of the things I know we've talked about before is about like triads. That's something that I definitely utilize a ton in my playing. So a lot of times, so I did a country gig this weekend. It was at, if you guys know where Tustin is, it's like kind of outside of LA. And I'm playing for this big rancher and cattleman event. And it was cool. I love playing country. I love getting a chance to play Telecasters and to play mostly clean the whole night. What I can tell you is a lot of the playing, that because it was just basically a trio and two singers up front, a lot of the playing ended up being me filling in instead of just taking a ton of solos that were single note solos. So let's say the song was, let's say it's Dreams. No, it's not a country song. Like being able to jump in and out of these little dyads is a super important tool when you're playing over this style of music. So I always suggest to students the first way to work on that is to get really fast at going from playing like a power chord, and you guys stop me anytime if you have any specific questions, by the way, is going from playing like a full bar chord like this into playing its smallest 3-string configuration. So this is like a full G bar chord. So if you're good on that, getting down here and being able to play through that small 3-finger configuration, and the same thing for like an A minor. And so it takes students a while to be able to see that association and not kind of see those as two separate things, right? So I don't see this as a separate thing. To me, I'm seeing it's not necessarily what's implied. Hey, Marilee, great to see you. What time is it where you guys are at? So Atlanta would be, is Atlanta the full 3 hours ahead? It is, isn't it? And Marilee, you're 2 hours, right? You're like mountain time, or central time, sorry. Mountain time. But, so anyway, so that's kind of one of the biggest steps here, is if you can see that small shape whenever you're playing these chords in a row. for A minor, for B minor, for C. Hey, Roy. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. The East Coast gets it the latest. Oh, yeah, so it is. So it's 9:30. Okay. Rory, so how do you know what scale to use over a chord progression? So let's break it down, shall we? So basically, oh, you're West Coast. I didn't know that, Marilee. Okay, so same. Yeah, Roy, you're in the UK. Are you in Scotland? Because I have a bunch of family in Scotland. I was thinking, I wonder if Roy's from Scotland. It's very Scottish. So anyways, let's take a really simple example, okay? So the most important thing to do is to be able to isolate whether a song is in major or minor initially, right? Or just a song section even. So let's take a really basic one, like let's take Oyo Kava. So everybody knows that song. So it's an A minor 7. We're gonna use, you are, yeah. So they're from Pinpont, or they live there now. They used to be in Glasgow. Going to D9. I was just there a few months ago. So if you know those two chords, D9 to A minor 7. So Oya Como Va, right? So that A minor 7 to D9, if we look at that, if we look at the relationship between those two chords, we know that it's the song is in minor because the first chord in the song is minor. So that's generally the given rule to try to figure out what key, or excuse me, what quality a song is in. Is it in a major or minor key? Then from that point, we know there's just two chords, so A minor going to D9, since we've isolated that A minor is the key, going to D9. What is the relationship between A and D? So everybody get your counters out. So if A's 1, something's 2, something's 3, something's 4, and something so on. So A, B, C, D. D is going to be the 4 chord. So do you guys all know the half steps in the major scale? It's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, which means you have 1, 2, 3, half step 4, 5, 6, 7, half step 1. So that's the first thing you have to memorize. Once you do that, you need to memorize it where 6, scale degree 6 is 1, because that's the relative minor. And that's what's going to allow us to figure out what the family of chords is in each one of these scales. So step 1 is be able to isolate whether a song is in major or minor. You can do that by ear. You can do that by the relationship between the chords. So we'll look at more examples. But step 2 is going to be able to identify the chords in relationship to the root key. So let's look at another example. You have A minor 7, G, D, A minor. Sorry, just A minor. This is, everybody recognize that? Last Dance with Mary Jane. That's it. Took me a minute. So if we look at the relationship with that, now you guys tell me what you think. Does that song sound like it's in major or minor? And don't be afraid to get it wrong. Just strong and wrong. Strong and wrong. Let it be wrong. Sometimes the material of the song will tell you, like, it's not the first dance with Mary Jane. It's the last dance with Mary Jane. If we think about the last dance, it's not going to be the happiest dance, potentially, right? So what do you guys think? Is that song in major or minor? Do, 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 do. Or actually, I'll play the song instead. Just give me your best guess. So it's A minor, G, D, A minor. So if you look at that, you have A minor, G, D, A minor. That's it, Marilee. You got it. You're not only starting on A minor, but you're ending on A minor. It's an A minor. It's solidly an A minor. So very nice. Pal, I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome. Let's see if I can get it right. Pi? Let me know. I think I'm saying it right. Okay, so it's in minor. You got it. You nailed it. So basically, the relationship between A and G is what? G is back one from A, so it's 1, 7, D is 4. So we have 1, 7, 4. So we know we're going to be playing an A minor over that. And then, Rory, as we get past that, we start getting into playing which mode do we play over it. So that becomes even more complicated. The first step here is just really kind of solidly be able to identify, is the song in major or minor? And then you know it's either going to be a minor scale or a major. I got it. Yes. Cha. Awesome. Okay, so let's look at a couple more examples, and you guys tell me what you think. Now, you got to guess in order to get it, right? So I always tell my students this at the college: strong and wrong. You guys say it back with me. Say strong and wrong. Good. I could hear you in your respective homes. All right, so now let's look at another example here. So we'll stick with Tom Petty since it's good. It's really good. We'll come back to that merrily. I'll answer that one for you. All right, so, wow, John, you guys, I love where you guys are going with this. Borrowed, yes. Okay, so we'll go back to this one for a second since you guys still have follow-ups on that. So the order of the family of chords, does anybody have that memorized? You have, in the major scale, you have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So what that ends up being is the half steps end up being between 3 and 4 and 7 and 1. So you have 1, you have 2, a major third, a major third, 4, 5, major 6, major 7, and 1. So those are the scale degrees in the major scale, right? Now, when we're looking at the minor scale, it's called the relative minor because it's relative to the major key. So it starts on scale degree 6. So if I have 1, and that's correct, it was a major 7. So if I know 1 is minor, 1 is major, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I make 6, 1, where do the scale degrees end up at? They end up between 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. So you have a lowered third and a lowered 6. So the family of chords for major, and this is you just want to memorize this. It's major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, minor 7 or diminished 7th, and then 1. So everybody say that back to yourself. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, minor 7, 1. Does that make sense? So if you're looking at a chord progression that starts on D and goes to a major 4 chord, that's a major chord that's 1, and a major 4 chord, that's a major scale. That implies a major scale. If it starts on A minor and it goes to a major 4 chord, so look at 6. If 6 is 1, 2 is 7, does this make sense? We keep moving on through there. So the order of the family of chords for a minor scale is minor 1, diminished 2, major 3, major 4, minor 5. Is this everybody following along with me here? So make 6, 1. If 6 is 1, 7 is 2. That means it's minor. Oh, I think it froze there for a second. 7 is 2. That means it's minor. And then 3 would be major. Hopefully you guys can follow along with that. So first step is to learn the family of chords. Memorize that. 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, minor 7. Then learn it for the relative minor. So make 6, 1. And the order of that major and minor chord stays exactly the same. So Rory asks, can you not just start the solo in the same key as the first chord? You can, right? But in terms of what mode you should use, so John was asking, is D a borrowed chord? In this case, D is not a borrowed chord because because it's actually the 4 chord in the key of A minor is normally major. It's going to be a Dorian though. So if we raise the 6, you end up with the Dorian scale. I used to learn this. Like in rock and roll. The most prominent chords are 1, 4, 5, and those are the major chords in the major scale. All the others are. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what John was asking, it makes a lot of sense. Oh, John, it would be borrowed if we were staying in the minor scale, but since that song is solidly in the key of Dorian, it's germane to the key. So the deal is that some of you are going to have more knowledge about this than others. Some of you are at the step where determine if the song is in major or minor. Some of you are at the step where memorize the family of chords so that we can begin to apply the basic diatonic theory. And some of you are at the step of actually figuring out which mode each song is in. So to work on the modes, it's really more of like looking at a cascade. So if you guys think of a circle, at the top is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you add a half step between 3 and 4 and 7 and 1. If I make 2, 1, the half steps shift, right? The half steps now move between 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. If I make 3, 1, and that's where things start to get a little bit froggier. So this would be a great sort of like I write on the board for you guys type of thing, I think. Because I teach this at the college all the time. Let's see. Let's do it. You ready? Does everybody remember paper? Who remembers paper out there? Nobody. All right. There's going to be an info. No, there's not going to be an infographic. All right, let's see if you guys can see this. Oh yeah, look at that. It's coming in strong. Oh, but my 5 is kind of nasty. But the half steps are these little carrots. They're between 3 and 4 and 7 and 1. So what happens if I make 2, 1? Oops, let's see. Help me here. I need a Vanna White. There we go. What happens if I make 2, 1? The half steps move between 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. This is how you get the modes. They're the sets that are developed from the major scale. So another way to look at this. Golly. Hold on there. There we go. One more way to look at it. Okay, so if you guys are looking at this, you see the carrots between 3 and 4 and 7 and 1. Now, if I make the second scale degree 1, but those carrots stay in the same place. So this is the second mode, right? Now, if I make the third scale degree 1, but the carrots stay in the same place. That's the third mode. So the easiest way to look at it is through Eugene. Eugene would love this topic. I don't know how. I'm not sure. I've never seen Eugene talk about this, so I think he would probably totally dig it. We should do it on a show. But basically, it's the sets that are built from each scale degree in the major scale. That's what the modes are. So it's a mathematical set, and each one of those scales is named after an island near Greece, prior to the birth of Christ. So we're talking BC, by a mathematician known as Pythagoras, right? So and this is the only other thing you have to memorize. There'll be other things, but I'm leading you on. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Those are all islands near Crete, or they were. I don't know if they're still called that now. Some of them are. So remember this. Everybody say Ionian. I heard you say it. I could hear you. Dorian. Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. So the first mode of the major scale is Ionian. The second mode is Dorian. That's built off of scale degree 2. The third mode is Phrygian. The fourth mode is, anybody? Bueller? Lydian. The fifth mode is Mixolydian. The sixth mode is Aeolian. The seventh mode is Locrian. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. So this is the 7 modes. It's the 7 scale degrees of the major scale where you make each scale degree 1, but the half steps stay in the same place. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That means you end up with 7 sets of chords, still the same major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, but you end up moving what is 1. So you end up shifting the order of the chords every time. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's all the modes are. They sound like they're insanely complicated, and when you're adding them to the fretboard, they do start to get pretty complicated. But in terms of understanding them, that's it. John. What did Eugene say? I don't play like my Aunt Lydia. Lydia. Exactly. Well, and so each one of these scales has like sort of a characteristic sound, right? Rory, you know what? Not Robert Johnstone, but Louis Armstrong, Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, obviously Dizzy Gillespie, they definitely all knew this. And I think we'd be surprised at what musicians knew about the modes. Do you guys know the song? One pill to make you stronger. Anyways, 60 songs that have this chord relationship. So whether or not people knew it was a mode, that's Phrygian, they were still using it because they had heard it used in context, right? So if we think of this song, so that's also out of one of the modes, right? So even though it's not major or minor, it's White Rabbit. Great job, Jim, for the wedgie. Even though it's not out of a major or minor strictly, you wouldn't necessarily have to know the name of the mode, but you would know the sound of that. Here's another example. So when you hear this sound, like, so every Steely Dan song, basically, right? It's like a intellectual fusion jazz. So if you're part of that's in Lydian, right? So even if you didn't know what mode it was, you've been listening to songs that were written in modes your whole life. And so you don't actually have to know what it is. You just have to be able to sort of play over it pretty much, right? All right, so does that topic kind of interesting to you guys, or what do you think about that? I think it's yeah, Peg. Let's see. Peg. That's in C major. So that one's not too bad. When you guys think of like of songs that you've learned in the past, if there's anything that kind of stands out and usually sounds a little bit more exotic, it usually means it's probably in a mode. If it's in major or minor, it could certainly be an awesome song and totally connect with you. It might not sound exotic though. And so that's it. I'm absolutely looking for Oriental sounding scales all the time. So, okay, so for Oriental sounding scales, I mean, the most popular scale in the history of all music is the pentatonic scale, which it's not so much whether you play the pentatonic scale or not, it's how you play it, right? So if you think of like a Shinto, or you think of, I can't remember the name of the instrument in China, but it's like a ball, it's a bulbous thing. I think it's made from a tree part. It's got a single stick, and there's one string, and they use a bow across it. Gosh, I spent a lot of time in China. I can't remember the name of this thing. Anyways, but the point is that a lot of monophonic harmony in China, or single note harmony, is written using the pentatonic scale. So the kind of the famous trope sound, those are fourths. So if you think about when you're playing the sort of, if you're trying to make a pentatonic scale sound like it's from the Orient, or sort of have sort of imply sort of an Asian sound, as we colloquially think about it, because obviously Asian music is actually just as complicated and varied as any type of music is. But and really, at this point in time, I mean, if we all went to the Philippines, they're gonna be listening to a lot of the music we are. K-pop's crazy popular, J-pop's crazy, but we're sort of thinking of the more traditional kind of American understanding of Asian music. It's gonna have a vibrato pentatonic sound. So like, it's going to have a very sort of direct pentatonic sound to it. So for Indian music, Rory, it depends on what type of Indian music we're talking about, right? So, and by the way, you guys, there are experts on this, and I am not one of them. I have I know enough to be dangerous. But obviously on world music or musicology and the specific instrumentation. But so Indian music is it's a really wide. I mean, you live in the UK, so there's probably East Indians all that that are from tons of different heritages, but everything from Bangladesh to India itself. When I think of Indian music, or when I think of Southeast Asian music, I think of Balinese gamelan. I think of kind of the big hits, Bollywood, the sounds that have more recently come out of India. Traditional Indian music is going to have tablas in it, if it's like the country of India, potentially. It's also going to have potentially quarter steps. So it's a cool thing that we play guitar, because you can actually make quarter steps on guitar. They don't always sound great to you if you're from the West, because we have stepwise motion that's separated by whole steps and half steps. So the distance between our notes, the smallest distance, is going to be either half step apart or whole step apart, with the exception of when you bend a note on a guitar. That's a quarter step. So it's in between a half step and the original note. And we do that on a guitar quite a bit, and that's part of the way that we can make some really unique, exotic sounds on guitar that other stringed instruments can make, but we're better at it. We're just better at most things. No. I think, when the Beatles sort of evoked East Indian sounds, they used sitars and they used a lot of quarter steps. So all of these are about approach as much as they are about the scales. There's also plenty of different scales, like a Hindi scale. There's other scales from China and Southeast Asian scales that I frankly don't even know. If you guys ever check out Balinese gamelan, that's a really interesting style of music. A lot of the music is going to be more kind of metaphysical or spiritual or repetitive at times, focused on communal events and dancing if it's more traditional. If we go to modern stuff, I mean, it's just like music is here. It's just like music is here. So it'd be really interesting to see how AI affects world music, because I think if you're an American, or if you're even just a Westerner, right? So if you're from Europe or America, you're thinking within the context of American or Western music and how it's going to affect that, but it's going to affect everybody's music, right? And I think that AI might not have as easy of a time replacing some other types of music, because American music, some of it's gotten quite formulaic and overly perfect, if you will. And I'm going to put perfect around in rabbit ears because I would say that we already had AI when we started using auto-tune to the extent that we use it now, and we're so used to hearing it that it's basically like having AI. They're using auto-tune everywhere else too, so it's mystic, or it's become part of the culture. What's going to happen with AI with that? I don't know, but I don't think for my ear as a 42-year-old, K-pop is something that's super AI replaceable. Whereas to me, it's not that I'm outlaw country. I don't think it's going to be as easy to replace that. Not because I'm saying outlaw country is better. I'm just saying that it's raw, and stuff that's raw I think is going to be harder to replace. Stuff that's super formulaic and where everybody's pointing at the same level of perfection, rabbit ears around perfection, I think that's super replaceable, and they should be worried about their jobs probably. But yeah, so I wish I had more info for you on the Asian sounds. Unfortunately, I'm not a full expert on that by any stretch. But I would say if it's modern Southeast Asian sound, K-pop, J-pop, it's basically the sound here. It's kind of all amalgamated at this point. Okay, this is good. Hey, you guys are asking great questions today. I don't know what's going on over there in the water or what it is. On a grid. Yeah, John, I think so. If we think about music, you have if you were to put it down to like a Y, X, and Z plane, right? So you'd have frequency variation, then you'd have time differential, and you could put those on Y or X, and then you have like dynamics, that'd be Z, and maybe techniques or approaches and things like that. So in order for AI to recreate music, it has to quantify every element of, and I only know this because I've been working with this transcription developer team, and so I don't think they're going to be able to do a very good job of it, to be honest with you, when it comes to transcription. And I don't like any of the AI music I've heard so far. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard anything where I was like, well, that's just. I've heard things where I'm like, well, I guess that'll do for a scene in a show. But nothing where I'm like, well, I'm just going to fall in love with that. So we'll see what happens. I ain't scared. Okay, so, all right, so we've done a bunch of like note stuff. Let's do some non-note stuff. Let's do some rhythm stuff, huh? So, everybody talks about notes, everybody talks about scales, but everybody usually sucks at rhythm. So, like, it's usually the thing that stands out the most to people, whereas, like, the notes and the scales are cool. But, yeah, Jim. And by the way, every time we've ever said, hey, AI doesn't do that well, in many respects, it started to do that, whatever that is, well. I don't know. What's going to happen with music. Can I tell you guys, since we're doing the AI conversation? Yeah, exactly, Jim. But you know what? Emotion is probably a quantifiable element, I guess. I think AI, I think when it comes to music and AI, I think AI is going to, if you're of a generation where you've been exposed to a ton of it growing up, I think it could become quite mainstream. But, here's what we have as our saving grace. For the children, how do we teach these kids? That's from Stand and Deliver. Scarcity is the market, or is the determinant of value in a market. So if I dilute shares of a company, or I dilute, if I dilute how much gold is in a piece of gold, or whatever it is. If if they make too many of a certain type of guitar, they're everywhere, and yours are worth less, right? So, and that's a kind of an extreme example. But if we look at music and we look at artists and we look at music quality and the way music sounds, if it comes down to you having to make a great take of something or having to develop scarcity, it's going to be using analog practices, what we call destructive editing. So digital allows you to record something over and over and over and over and over again endlessly, move it around, stretch it, whatever. And that's all been really convenient. It's lowered the barrier of entry for everybody. But at the same time, it's allowed for a lot of lower quality music, and I think that's objective, right? I mean, it's lower quality because if everybody can do it, then everybody can do it. So it's not that it's bad or good. It's just that the very best cream doesn't always rise to the top. If you have destructive editing, if you have a piece of tape that's expensive, you got to get your performance together. It's got to sound really good. You got to be able to emote, like Jim was saying, and really, you got to have a great song, great ideas, great approach, sing in harmony, then press record, and it's got to come out. Yeah, I mean, that is going to be scarce because not everybody's going to be able to do that really well. That is moving back into like a craftsman ability to do something. I see young people moving in that direction here in the city, and I think that that's what's going to make its way out to the rest of the nation. It's like, oh, you're doing digital stuff? It's like, well, everybody's doing that. This is, if we go analog, it's going to show us what you can really do. And that's just my speculation, but I think that's what's going to happen because the market always finds scarcity. Value chases scarcity. And some of you guys know way more about all those kind of scarcity value topics than I do. Just look at my bank account. No, I'm joking. All right, so rhythm players don't get no love, huh? So I'd have to agree with you, Rory. So one of the best ways to work on rhythm, you guys, is just cover up the strings and give them one of these. And unless you're using fingers, we can talk about that in a minute. But when the upstroke really does need to be as strong as the downstroke. If it's not as strong, what's going to happen is you're going to have an uneven strum pattern, and you need to make a pendulum. So that's the first step, is just be able to do this really well. And then you want to be able to do it as you drag through strings. And instead of moving your pick in this direction, so doing too much shaping of your hand, if you just allow the pick to drag through the strings, you're going to end up with an easier result, or a more consistent result, sorry. So if that makes sense, that's going to be a big step to both getting like single note picking down, where you can play in time, and then strumming down in time. So that's right there for a ton of people. It's going to be that. And it's like, well, hell, that ain't no fun at all. Well, it's fun if you can find a song where you can connect with the rhythm. So I use it like if I was teaching, I don't know, like an adult college class or something. They'd have to be adults because the song's references. But let's say it's so that's night moves, G, F to C over G. And it's so that helps you work on upstrokes, right? It helps you because each one of those switches are on the upstroke. And in sort of when you're newer to this, that's going to be really tricky, is to get your upstroke to be really strong as you're switching between chords. So down, muted strum, up, down, up on F, up on C over G, and then up, down, up on F, up on G. And that's a full time through the. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect the way I'm doing it. It's just that you want to be able to work on your upstrokes being just as pronounced as your downstrokes. Another example would be a song like a. Does anybody remember the name of this song? Somebody help me. Anyways, Big Black Horse in a Cherry Tree. That's what it is. It's Katie Tunstall. So this pattern. Believe it or not, being able to do that is akin to people being able to enjoy you play. So I say this too much, but gosh, if you guys focus on rhythm a ton, you're just going to thank yourself, because it's such a really connecting part of playing guitar. It connects with the audience, and it helps you really just be into songs and not be too much in your head about notes. And after you've worked on rhythm a ton, getting in your head about notes is a lot more productive. So everybody's going for this, right? But they can't. So it's going to be really hard for the thunder to strike under that scenario, right? Anyways. All right, you guys. You know, we're going to be back doing this here again, and we're going to pick some themes. Eventually, we're going to do it on the Patreon. I just want to get started. We want to add some more value to our platform for you guys, so that me and Eugene can keep doing this. We want to keep doing it until we're very, very old, and you guys can grow very, very old with us. So think like, I just think just arcane old, where obviously by then it'll be like Neuralink, and so I'm just communicating an idea to you. But we're so old, the ideas are kind of crotchety, you know? They're kind of like, get off my lawn type of ideas. No, but we want to do it for a long time, so we want it to make sense for everybody. We want to give you guys more value that have been kind enough to support us in the Patreon. Right now, it pays for the streaming equipment for us to be able to, like, the monthly subscriptions. So we're going to try to step it up and give you guys some more value so we can, I got to support Eugene, you guys. I got to support this guy. Eugene, I got to keep him fed. You know what I mean? So we love you guys. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Most important thing to playing guitar is that you still exist on the earth. Now stop it, Marilee. You are not very old. I don't want to hear that again. You're forever young. It's Rod Stewart. That's the version I was singing. I know there's other versions, but I'm doing the Rod Stewart version. Yeah, the cheesy 80s one. Absolutely. Boy, we should do a whole Faces show. Hey, so if you guys think of any ideas, I mean, because I have tons of ideas for shows, but if you guys have any ideas for topics for me and Eugene, we'll cover them. I know we want. So I'll tell. We want to do a show on Outlaw Country, and yeah, Rory, get some sleep, buddy. Thanks so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to some jams and jellies. And I love Scotland. It's great. I love it. It gets dark a little bit early, though, and sometimes it just stays wet all the time. But other than that, it's fantastic. But yes, give us some ideas for shows, you guys, and then be sure to tell us, if there's any topics. We're thinking about doing some multi-show. Ooh, slide guitar, Rory. Very good. We haven't done a slideshow in a while. That's a great idea. Yeah. And I got some new slides that you guys might really enjoy. Wouldn't Faces be a great one? Ooh, Marilee, how to accurately sounds like a very wise person came up with that, Marilee. How to accurately self-assess. Damn, that's a good topic. I Know I'm Losing You would be great. Marilee's topic is quit bullshitting yourself. It's like a self-help book that hurts. A slideshow. I get it. Eric. Yeah, you can come. You can come to the slideshow. Did you guys have any family members that used to come back from a trip and like show you slides? Like when I was a kid, my uncle would go to, I don't know, whatever exotic place, and then you'd have a trillion slides in this huge like cylinder, and everybody turn the lights on, and there'd be these kind of hazy pictures, and I'm like, what am I like? I never felt transported. I didn't feel like I was there. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know if those still exist. Yeah, that's a great idea, you guys. Also, I mean, me and Eugene I told him, I want to hit some of the kind of like controversies of guitar. Like I'll tell you, can I tell you guys one? I'm going to tell you one. The famous headstock breaks that happen with Gibsons. There's a big controversy going on with that right now. And I mean, it can go either direction. I don't want to make the Gibson people mad. I don't want to make the Fender people happy. I want to make them both equally mad and happy. So that's a tough goal for me. But no, you guys have a great night. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and because you can't play guitar if you're dead, and that's what I always tell myself every day. Dylan, you can't play guitar if you're dead, so be careful. And we'll see you guys soon. We got Outlaw Country coming up on Wednesday, so should be a hoot. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks, Rory. Thanks, John. Thank you, Eric, Marilee, Pie. Oh, yeah. Jim. Great to see you guys. To thumb or not? Ooh, John, that's a great one. To thumb or not to thumb. Are different kinds of controversies. Yeah. I mean, even just, old school stuff about, the stories in rock and roll and different things. I think it'd be fun. All right, you guys, have a great week. We'll see you soon. Yeah, but Eugene, he's an alarmist, Marilee. You can't let him get to you.